Alright guys, welcome to Granddaddy Garage. Yes, we are finally on another episode. We'll figure out what episode it is. I'll put it in the description. But anyway, so my sons and I started putting parts in the Camaro. So I got it blocked up underneath here, a little bit of jack help, separated it, spring compressor. So we started some performance parts. So these are performance camber caster plates for the Camaro. I did the rest of the AC delete, which is this piece right here. It's cheap. It's like $30. You can get it off Amazon. The belt seems to be working with it just fine. So I got plenty of that belt isn't that used. That was shorting the system out, so I got to take that out and figure out how to get it to not short out on something, because that should be in there, even though the AC is not in it. But yeah, so I got front rear sway bars, all the components for rebuilding the steering with the idler arm. So I got that. New horn for the truck. The truck is going. It's working and stuff. So yeah, I'm working on this right now. My son will be out in a bit to help me. So this is an update on the Camaro. I started welding, but it's been like 90 degrees. I can weld on it a lot easier now because I gotta fill in the rest of the little stitch welds. Time consuming. I still got to make a piece there, make a piece over there, and then I got a bunch of pieces over there to make. And once I get that done, and then I'm going to look at getting the UMI subframe connectors. You can actually see this thing flex when I put it on those blocks. So once it's back on the blocks and it's level, I'm going to look at getting the UMI subframe connectors and probably starting to deal with that stuff. I got all the components to put in the manual transmission for this, all factory components. So that's a good thing. I still have to scavenge a 4th gen brake booster and a 4th gen master cylinder, and then maybe I can use a 4th gen. Do I need a 4th gen distributor block? Maybe I'll use a 4th gen distributor block, or maybe I'll get a Wellwood distributor block. We'll figure it out. So that's that for right now. And yeah, because I got disc brake conversion for the rear, and I got to change this stuff out in order to make that viable. And then, but these are really cool, simple cool. These are bare bones racing components. These are like $70 on eBay, which is cool. I got an idea for a performance mod for this. I'm thinking of doing a dual 4-barrel, and then make 4-barrel plates for these 2-barrel TBI units. I'm thinking about running dual TBI units. That'd be a cool idea, right? Running dual TBI units. So I think the back one, not sure if the front or the back would be the master. Not sure how I want to run that. But it's going to take some techno hooey with the chip, because yeah, but it would be cool, and it would be cool to see if I can make it work. But I think one would be the main, and the other one would be the slave. So, you know. So that's an idea first, because they make a dual 4-barrel intake for small block Chevy. It'd be really cool to do that. And I want to route this hose this way and over. Maybe see if I can get this radiator back in a little bit more and put a push fan in front, because I got a lot of hood modifications that I want to do. Like I'm gonna make a cowl in the back. I think I'm gonna do maybe some flutes here. Like, I think I might flute it, cut it, and flute it to help vent air. That, and I want to make a slit here, and I want to point the slit down so just draw the heat straight out from the radiator up to the top. So that'd be really cool. But that's for another time. Right now I'm replacing components and putting in some performance components, and yeah. It's been so long since I worked on this. COVID killed everything, like literally, it did. It just fucking, it could have put a kibosh to everything. Politicians spat in our faces, laughed at us, fucking, you name it. They bent us over. But anyway, but that's what I got going on right now, and I'll get back to you. Oh, welcome to Granddaddy Garage. Yeah, this is episode 6, and it has been a while. Thanks to respiratory virus and our politicians at large. They're a joke. But anyhow, back on the car. Yeah, so we're working on this. We started doing some actual suspension parts. I tried doing some welding on it last weekend, and it was hot again. They're more muggy, and being in the car welding and being muggy, it just, I was pouring sweat. I mean, my son, I was showing him how to do some stitch welding, and yeah, he was miserable. He said he couldn't see anything. It was miserable. So we decided to do some parts. At least we're outside of the vehicle, underneath the vehicle, you know, moving around. We can, you know, we're not completely like drenched in sweat, even though we're still sweaty. So we started doing some of those suspension parts. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. I'm going to take you out the tripod and do a recap of what I talked about yesterday when it was getting late, or not yesterday, but last weekend when it was getting late. All right, let's see here. It's up there. So we put in the now I'm stuck. Camber caster plates. Yep, there we go. So performance camber. These are bare bones racing parts. There's no bushings. There's no fancy housing. It's just this is just about function. As you can see, there's, you know, you're open here. You can see that. It's not like some of those other, like from Spawn or BMR, where they're encapsulated and they're, you know, bare bones. Got these off eBay. They were like $75, $80 all together with shipping. We went and we did the bottom. We did the ball joint and the lower control arm, which is cool. We took out all the drag link bar and all that underneath here. So here we are. See, that's all out. So the string box actually feels really good on this side. There's no movement there, which is good. So I think the steering box might be fine. I don't know if there's any cracks. We'll find out when I really start digging in the car. We are going to make the Z28 models came with a bar to make it extra sturdy from here to here. I'm going to make that. We're gonna weld that up. We're gonna make it. Yeah, from here to here. So it sounds like my boys are back. My two sons. Yeah. So I get Blake to help on me again because he was helping me doing the parts last weekend and whatnot. I want to do some wrenching with Dad. Oh. Let's go up here. To show you what else we've done. We did the AC delete. I did most of that already. Custom did a duct over there and took out all the parts. So that's where we're right now. We'll go ahead and we'll key you back in another update where we get so far with the steering components and that other lower ball joint. Alright, so I got you queued back in. I got a basic work table lined up for doing a couple things. Now, I have this OEM style ring compressor for like domestic vehicles. This works great, and the only problem is that there's too much thread, and it gets in the way. These cars have a short spring on them. They're not that long. They're not that long. So I made a spacer out of 3/4 inch outer diameter water pipe from like Home Depot and Lowe's. I made this just long enough to work. It needs to be a little longer. So I made it 5 3/4 inch long. I'm gonna try 6 1/4. I think 6 1/4 would be better. So we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna go over on the next. The next thing is we're gonna go ahead and make that brace for the front frame rails that go between the left and right frame rail of the Camaro. Now they put these braces in the Z28 models and the IROC models because they expect them to get raced and like road racing, like corner carving and whatnot. The car was designed for carving corners. So we're going to do that. We're going to make our own. We have our sway bar bracket here. We are going to clean it up, but we want to use this as our template for our that, and then make it long enough. But we're going to do this first. So see here, I got this orange marker. All that matters is it shows up so you can make the cut. Six and a quarter. That should do it. And then get some power. There we go. simple. That's easy. It's done. Now here's the other thing when you're making this that you're going to have to understand is that the pipe is welded. So there's this weld in here. You're going to have to take a rat tail file, a good rat tail file like this, and go in there and file that out of it. You're going to have to switch sides back and forth. You keep doing this until this slides over that nut and bolt really nice. Don't worry, this isn't as big a pain in the ass as you think it is. This takes a little bit of time and patience, and what you got to do, take it apart. Here, like this. Take the washers off for right now. Do a test fit. See, it's a little too tight still. This rat tail file is pretty coarse, so using a standard wire brush should clear most of the chips if it gets full. If not, you're going to need a file brush. Clean the chips out of the file. Now we'll go to the other side and do it again. I wouldn't recommend putting this in a vise, and if you do, you got to be very careful. You don't want to crush this at all, because then it's not going to fit over. It's not going to sleeve over the file very good at all. Just got to keep back and forth. Rotating your file. Try not to drag it too much. There, see? Nice. And it's not very loose. See that? It's very tight. And when I use this, I put one sleeve on the bottom. Like that. One sleeve on top. Like this. If that's too long, then I'll go back to using this one, because it did work. It did work. allowed me to get the control arm, but it takes a couple pair of hands. You know, one guy to hold the lower control arm up, the other guy to hold the strut, and then you can nut the ball joint on. But there's that. Because this is just a basic Amazon OEM master spring compressor set. Now, the problem is they don't have a lot of room in this box. This model didn't come with spacers, so I had to make the spacer for this. I figured this out by watching a guy using a spring compressor. I noticed he had a spacer on it, but he didn't mention anything about it. He said just like that, it comes off. Well, it's more than just like that, because the spring on the Camaro isn't that big, and you know, this hits the top of the shock tower. I mean the spring tower, the spring pocket. Let's go back here, get it out of the way. Here's my two sleeves. Easy peasy. You don't have to, you know, you just try to make your cut as straight as possible. You can wrap tape around it if you need to, but you see I freehanded it. It's not that bad. It's not crooked enough to make a difference. It's pretty close. Now to help you get your spring off. Now here's the other thing we're going to do. So we got a drill, wire brush, gonna need that. We got this. I guess we try to make this as square as possible. I have a couple of squares and clamps, so. So we got a flat clamp here, a finger clamp, a couple of welding squares, and a C-clamp just in case. So let me go ahead and get a quick square, because that will help make this better. Quick square, measuring tool, tape measure. What did I knock off? I knocked one of these off. These are identical. Although I don't like that the other one's on the ground, so we're going to pick that up. There we go. So these are going to have to get cleaned up. I got to re-clean these. Looks like it's got a thing on. We'll find that out when we wire wheel those. But this is the basic tools you're going to need other than a welder. I got the welder. After we get this cut kind of measured out and drilled and stuff, we'll figure it out. I might have drill bits that are this size. I might not. So we'll be right back with that. Okay, so back with the rest of the tools that we're going to need. Here, and another marker. Let's see what I got. This is my my drivers, socket applications, drill bits, step bit just in case. Now, let's see here. So we know where these holes are going to go as far as this goes. I think this is going to need to be extended a bit. I'll have to crawl into the car to figure it out, and I'll I'll bring you in on it. Alright, so we're back. Now, the plate on the right side is 1 inch, or 4 inches, 4 3/4 of an inch long. And that's passenger side. So I'm going to write a P on that. Now we're going to go check driver's side. Okay, now the other one, on the driver's side, it's 5 inches long. So we are going to make that a whopping 5 inches long. Right there. Alright, so now we got that done. We're going to name this driver's side, so it's going to be a D for the driver's side. Okay. So let's go ahead and cut these and get that out of the way, and I dropped my safety specs. Safety specs of some kind. Alright, let's cut these 2 pieces. Now the driver's side. Alright. Now we got the passenger side and the driver's side done. Those are a little hot, but each of these are also going to need a little notch in them for this. So this is the top. I could go pretty much straight to the top like this, or just a little past. And then just try to keep the edges make our lines where I need to cut. You might be able to drop a transfer punch that way. Maybe I get a transfer punch, maybe drop that on there. Let's try to find a center a little bit on that one. now, let's bring you in here a little closer, right? There we go. That's what I got going on right now. So either way, like that. So I'm probably just going to cut that out just like that. 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 Let me get center punches, see if those will work at all. Which one's Charlie? Definitely not that big. No. No. A little smaller. That seems to work right there. Definitely close enough. Okay. Feels like that did good. That's definitely not. So this will have to do it. There we go. I think. That hole's a little rusty, so I guess it doesn't. Not as good as I thought it was. There we go. Yeah, there's not a lot of wiggle in there, so let's go ahead. There we go, we got that. Sorry if I'm in the way. Like that. Right? So this is 11/64. This center punch was. That must be what's close to it. No, I just got to figure out the orientation of this plate compared to that plate. So that's going to be there. Like that, basically. Alright, so the orientation of this plate is here, and this orientation of this plate is here. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to drill these, make sure the bolts fit through them nice with a little bit of wiggle. And we're going to put these plates in the vehicle with just the bolts. And then we're going to measure across here, and we're going to weld in ourselves a plate between here. And I think I might just go ahead and do an extra weld gusset from here to here, triangulating, just for a little extra after we get this all prepped, because it's got to get prepped for us. So it's drilled and prepped. cut you back in when we get to there. Alright, so we got the holes drilled. Everything's lined up really good. The holes on the back are just a little bit bigger than the holes that are originally in this, so it should make it easier for installation. I used a step bit because my half-inch bit is it needs to be sharpened. I need to get a bigger sharpener. The sharpener I got is good for smaller bits, but nothing. I think nothing over 5/16 I can't sharpen, so I'm gonna have to get a different sharpener. Those are good. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna dress these up and prep them for welding. We're gonna bolt these in the car. We're gonna measure across. We're gonna cut the length of bar we need, and we're gonna tack weld it right in the car. We're gonna tack weld it up enough where it's gonna stay. And then once we're done with that, we'll work out, because you see where these line up, right? So that means the bar is basically going to come up across here a little bit. So, but we should have enough for a little bit of a gusset across there. Yeah, so we put a little bit of a gusset in. It's not going to bother anything. There we are. Then once we get this prepped, we'll probably clean these up, and we'll paint them. And then once this is all welded up, we'll just paint this. We'll put on some cardboard. We'll throw some paint on it and call it good. So there we are with that. I'll bring you in when I get the rest of this prepped up some more, and show you what it looks like underneath the car. All right, so now I got these pieces prepped. They're ground clean all around for welding and paint. I got them bolted in here. Now you want to make sure the spacing leaves it lots of room. Do we go around this way when you're getting it in? And same here. So I made the holes a little bit bigger. Well, like a half-inch bit is perfect. Now I had to use a step bit, and I used a caliper to kind of measure what half-inch was. And then I had to take a file and dress the holes because step bits aren't perfect. But this is where we at. If you're wondering what bar I'm using, here we go. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna go ahead and put it on camera here. So let's see here. Can you see that? Maybe it's easier to see. There we go. That's better. So that's the bar I'm using. 2" by 36" flat bar is 3/16" thickness. You can get this at any Home Depot or Lowe's. That's what I'm using. So, and then I beveled on both sides because I have to weld it from both sides. And then after I get this tack welded, and then I'll tack weld the little gussets across here and across here. I don't know how much I can get because this is the steering box is in here. But we'll put something in. I'll mark it. So the next thing is I'm going to put this bar in here. From there like that, over to here, and mark it, tack weld it with a welder, and then I'll be taking it out and doing the rest of the welding. Alright, I'll see you when I got it tack welded, and I'll take it out. Alright, so we're back. I just tack welded in pretty much. Well, I went to town on this one. This weld isn't so bad. I had a good angle and sight, and then on this side, just it was too much. It was getting too irritating. I couldn't follow the line, so I have to clean it up and redo it. It's got to be done on the other side, and then on the other side, I'm gonna grind it, make sure it's nice so it doesn't interfere with the back side of it. But this is nice and solid already. Ain't going nowhere. And then I think I could put a small gusset here. I'm not sure if I got my pencil with me or not, or my pen. Alright, so let's go get a marker, and I'll mark this where I can gusset it in a little bit, and then I'll put a gusset across here, just for a little extra, just so it has it. I could gusset it from way up here to this way. We'll see. I'll see, because I'll have to cut that piece out, that corner out, or whatever I'm going to do. So we'll see. Well, let me grab a pen. Oh my gosh! Or the marker, so to speak. Mark it. Let that cool a little bit before I take it off, so it sets. Let's see here. This. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. Now, back under here, I know that there is good. I could go up high as here and follow a line down, maybe down to here. So those are my two contact points. I went from here to here, and then I got lots of area here. So we could do here to here, right up to the corner. Nice and skookum on this side. I could follow it all the way up to the corner on this one. I really wanted to, and gusset it across to this point. We'll see. We'll see what that takes, because I think I might be able to do that. So, and what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll bevel grind these edges, and I'll tack that in and I'll weld it all together. Yep. So it should be good. Alright. So I'm bringing it back in while I'm setting in to do the rest of the welding. Alright, so here we are at this stage of it, and it's probably not going to be perfect. It's close. It's close there. And I eyeballed that. I eyeballed it. When I put it in place, I put it across this corner. I put it relatively in the area where I thought it needed to go, and it's not off from square by much. Maybe a 1/16 to an 1/8 at best out of square, and that's fine, because this is just for this, for back and forth. So that's beautiful. And then we got to go get the other bar so we can make our other piece. Alright, so we're here. So I need to, so I can do this. That's where that's getting cut. And then here, and that's where that's getting cut. And then I'm going to cut it from here to here to there. And then the same thing pretty much on this side, except for, yeah, I think I might be able to get rid of, get away with just cutting it from there to there. So we got our square here. And there we go. Basically a 30-degree angle on that one. Okay, so it's going to be driver. passenger. There we go. I had my hat a little too close in the area where I'm welding, but broke the hole in my hat. That's alright. Now we gotta get that ready. Cut. Alright. Cutting disc. Gotta cut a disc. Then on this side, we might have to give it a little bit of a rounding off. We'll see. We'll see how it fits in there. Safety stacks. And we need juice. Alright, let's do this. Alrighty, then there's that. They're going to be hot. I gotta pick them up. Now they got to get cleaned up. The driver. These gloves are pretty toast, but they're better than nothing. I have to get another pair. Into there. That. Let's do we'll tack it and make it better. Driver's side. Like that. I think. What do I want? Do I want the flat clamp? Hold it a little bit when I tack it in, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and get that welder ready. Over here. Gloves aren't as toast. So alright. So I don't want to destroy the lens on this one, so I'm going to go ahead and cut you out and bring you back. Alright, now you can see it's just about finished. You know, I got to flip this over a little bit here. So this is driver's side, this is passenger side. Now we have to figure out, because this is supposed to help with performance, this is weight. So what are we going to do? We think this is 31 inches, huh? Well, what about between the two welded points? 26. Okay. So what if we hold the hole? 29. Where's 30 on this? That's 30 right there. That means this is pretty much center. So here's center, pretty much. Get this. Center. After that. After that. As far first 2 inches, so 1 inch is its center. Go. So we could do 3 holes to help lighten it, or you could do what? 3 3/4. 3 3/4. Uh-oh. Get back here. We do 3 3/4, like that. There we go, like that. That. And we know that center. And we got that center, and we can lighten it up a bit. So I can take the step bit and drill holes in these areas to lighten this piece up a little bit. And it should, because our rigidity is supposed to be this way, and it's supposed to be able to flex a bit this way. So, which is okay for right now. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's mark those. Still got our little, this should make it close enough. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to drill the holes in this to lighten this up a bit, and then we're going to put it up under the car and see how she fits. Alrighty. That, I think, what do they call this, a Panhard bar? I don't know, I'll have to check, but this is all welded up now. You see that? That little bit of movement, that's what you need so you don't fight it. So, looks like that. All the way there like that. And then, now I'm going to clean it up and I'm going to paint it. Because it needs to be painted now, because I don't want this thing rusting the hell out of me, but that's beautiful. So, and then these bolts will lock in the sway bar. Sway bar will be sit right underneath of this. And these are the holes I drilled to lighten it up a little bit. Add that extra performance. So yeah. You know, doing something like this is not hard. It's a little time consuming. You got to do a little bit of a thought process, but it wasn't really difficult. This is one of the easiest things you can do. I'm going to show you guys other easy things you can do with performance upgrades instead of having to spend lots of money. Like this flat bar is like $10, I think, at Home Depot or Lowe's. Maybe 15 now. But you spend a whopping $30 on material. I didn't even go through one grinding disc. I didn't really put any real dent. So this thing's probably cost me $40 altogether, plus my time. But it's in here, it's real nice, it clears here. I don't think that's going to interfere with anything at all, so that's beautiful. I can get in here if I have to touch something, you know. Right here I can get in. But yeah. Still not sure how I want to make the engine breathe better. Oh, got all kinds of ideas of how I'd like to do the engine. But yeah, this is one of the best things I've done so far. I got rid of that air conditioning pump. That thing was a blight. A blight on my existence is gone now. It's beautiful. Engine compartment's cleaned up quite a bit compared to what it used to be. It's getting like this is going to be a race car that I can drive around, take to shows. If I want to take it grocery shopping, you show it off, I can. You know, when I'm done with it, this thing's probably not going to ride very nice on a regular road, but it's going to handle great because I want to do autocross with this. So, getting all that preparation done and welding, I still got to do the floor pans. I have to get back to welding the floor pans, but that's got quite a bit done today. I mean, I think I got quite a bit done today, but I didn't start working on it till late. Oh, yeah, you can see it right there. It's not really in the way of anything. It's not catching on anything. And I think the stock one from the factory is some stamped steel, so this is probably a lot stronger than that. I mean, this is a lot thicker, I believe, than what came from the factory. And if you get a super performance one, you can spend up to $250 at Spun or BMR or something, and it's adjustable. Like there's a torsion adjustment to it or whatever. And I'm trying to do this thing on as much as a budget as I can. You know, for you guys are going to be doing it at home. You're going to be. I mean, I don't even have a garage. I'm doing this right in my front yard, in my driveway. This thing's up on wheel blocks. Wheel cribs that I made. But it's going to happen. I'm going to make it happen. I got to change this thing out. This thing doesn't breathe anymore, I don't think. It's clogged. Yeah. So that's going to have to get replaced eventually. I'm going to delete that EGR. But yeah, so the body's getting fixed. The performance parts, the roll cage, the seats, that's all getting mocked in first. The transmission's going to go in. The 5-speed manual will have all the parts for it. It's all stock parts. And I'm going to document all that to help you guys out who want to do a Borg-Warner T5 swap on an automatic. That way you guys will take some of that anxiety away. You know, I've been wrenching probably since I've been 8 years old. My dad would have me out holding wrenches and holding up something for him so he can get nuts and bolts in, all kind. You know, he take me car shows, build model cars, you name it. He when I was little, he engulfed me in hot rods and cars and trucks and stuff. So, you know, the biggest part of doing that is just doing it. You're gonna make mistakes. It's just how it is, and you fix those mistakes. That's how you get better at doing this. So don't be afraid of fucking shit up, because you're gonna eventually. You're gonna see if that holds together. I think I got that welded up good. I ground the welds because if I had my hand up in there, I don't want to get caught on the weld, because that Harbor Freight welder, a lot of splatter, doesn't make the prettiest welds. So I ground them down flat. I beveled everything real good before I welded it to help with the penetration, so it should be welded all the way through the core. And that's important, is how you prep stuff. I made sure the metal was clean, it was ground. I ground in bevels. You know, so basically I'm filling that material back in. I'm just not welding over the top of it. That way when I ground it, because I thought it's like, if I have to grind it, I want to be able to, you know, and it stays together. So we're going to paint that next. And then we got to clean up those sway arm mounts and paint those too. I think I have red paint. If I have red paint, it's getting painted red, because I think the UMI sway bars I got for this, now some things I'm spending money on. You can't get away from not spending money on. I mean, I could have got like a sway bar for a truck, it might have done the same thing, but it might not have, like how stiff I want it. So, but you know, when you buy like a spun or a BMR sway bar, it's gonna do what you want it to do. I'm doing this a little old school, but not everything old school. Like I'm gonna spend money here and there. Like when I'm gonna refresh this engine is what I'm gonna do. I don't think this engine's that bad. Like far as she'll smoke a little bit when you first start her, but I had this at ATCO and I ran it on that quarter mile and she was doing mid-15s. And that's good for a little 305 block on this 3,000 pound vehicle. It's not the most fantastic time, but that's good for a stock vehicle. Has the most minor performance parts. I mean, it just got a pair of headers, Edelbrock intake manifolds, good cap, you know, rotor wires and plugs, and an MSD coil in it. You know, it's got no real programming chip in it or nothing. It's got a stock chip in it. You know, this helps it breathe a little bit better. When I did that stuff right there made that breathe better. This thing revs out to 4,500 RPM, no problem in every gear. It just eats it up. So, plan is I want to be able to take this little 305 block apart, do a little bit of work, put better heads on it. I kind of have an idea of running dual 2-barrel TBIs on this. I may or may not do that. I might just get a Sniper EFI with a self tuner and get a open gap 4-barrel intake for this, because I think that would probably might be the better solution. And plus with working with a power band on this, because I really don't need this thing to make more than like 400, maybe 450 horsepower. I think 400 horsepower would be perfect for this engine and what I want to do with autocross. It doesn't have to make a super amount. I just needed to make good power and good torque, not amazing power and amazing torque, because, you know, if I go too far with it, I'll have to put it on you know, I'll have to really be able to put it somewhere where I can really open it up. So that, and I'm trying to keep it on a budget. So I'm thinking when I refresh the engine and whatnot, it might cost me around $2,500. I want to keep it under $2,500. So, and she'll end up getting painted and stuff. Like this isn't going to be like a concourse restoration either. You're seeing how I'm welding up the floor pans in this. I'm not going through to make this thing look like Gold Glove. It's not going to happen that way. I want to be able to enjoy it and not worry about if it gets nicked or dinged even after the paint job. I want to be able to freaking be like, okay, well, I just fixed it then. It's not going to be a trailer queen. I'm going to drive this like a redheaded stepchild. I'm going to be mean to it, and it'd be okay with it. And me being okay if, you know, I booger something up. So, but yeah, so that's where we're at right now. I'm not sure what time it is, but I'm gonna check on it. If I got enough daylight and I feel up to it, I'll do some more work on it and bring you on what I'm doing next. It's kind of hard to do this stuff when it's just me. It's not that you can't do it. It's just, you know, it just takes a little bit more time. I got a little bit more prep. I don't have another set of hands. Son's girlfriend came over, so I didn't get his help today. So that's that. But because there's still a bunch of welding to do here. Open this up. I got to go in. I got to fix the rest of these holes. A little hole here. I'm gonna just put a plate across there and freaking weld it in. Maybe here too, like a couple plates there. I went and started patching in more welds here. I'm gonna go across here now. So I gotta figure out how much of this I'm gonna replace. That looks bad, so I might have to get the computer and the computer wire out of here. Not sure if it disconnects from the other side. I might have to start taking the nose of this apart to get to some of this over here. That just might be the reality of it. And help stiffen up the car more. Like these little seat supports actually help stiffen up the car. So, and they're just rosette weld, factory rosette weld. So I'm putting in little tack welds across here. I'm gonna do it there. I already did it the other side. I think I might do the same in a couple areas, like all those gusseting, inside gusseting here. I might go ahead and throw some, grind it with a wire wheel, and then tack weld it in a little bit more. Maybe I'll box this in. I'm not sure yet. A little bit more. But yeah. But I think my next purchase for this is going to be subframe connectors. DMI makes them for like $250, $300 when shipped, I think. Or I might be able to find them on eBay. The same thing on eBay for, cheap. We'll figure it out. But yeah. Whew. And she's going to get a radio back in it. So I've figured out which radio I want to put in. I think I might put a fancy radio in it. Something that plays movies. Some shit like that. The surface rust up there is not real bad. Windows are cheap. They got a green tinted window for this. It comes real cheap. They're like under $300. I'm probably just gonna pick up one of those because I could care less if it's got a little bit of a green tint to it. But whatever. I'm doing this race car on a budget. I am going to get a Grant steering wheel for this, and I'm gonna make it detachable just because that's cool. And then I gotta figure out how much of a hole when I do start doing the transmission I gotta cut out of here. And that's in park. So maybe the hole only has to be like 8 inches from here to there. And then I'll figure out how to. But yeah, she's still got the heater in it. I'm gonna keep the heater in it because I can defog the window and make it comfortable if it gets a little cool out at the end of the season. Man, this stuff is so sticky. They really glued some of this stuff on. I mean, look at that. It's terrible. Like, when I freaking wire wheeled all this, man, that was just a big, old mess. It was horrible. Just horrible. And then, yeah, like, this is going to be done real simple. I'm pretty much going to do the same thing here. Except I'm gonna put a glass pack in the middle of this, I think, just to give it a little bit more of a tone. But yeah, I got sick of the exhaust leak that was on this. I got rid of the rest of the exhaust. I put it right out the side here. I like this a lot better. It's real loud because it's freaking it's open exhaust right out the back. It's crazy. I might attempt to make my own connector for the rear transmission housing up to the torque bar and get it off the tail housing. I might do that mock-up before I put the manual transmission in. Not sure yet. I gotta take those bolts out, get rid of that fucking exhaust hanger because that thing's stupid. I can just make my own somewhere else. And I gotta make some here because this I don't like that. I don't like what I did here. I gotta redo it. It's not going anywhere, but I can do better than that. Try to get it away from that. I gotta bump that back out because that's how you get freaking panel off here. But yeah. So we're gonna make our own performance parts like we did up there with Panhard bar. We're gonna have to knock that back out, make it nice and square, and then we're gonna box this in all the way up here and around it. Same thing with the other one over there, and then we're gonna drill holes in it, lighten it back up, and then we're gonna do the same thing with that that bar there. So. I am gonna get performance springs and spring jacks for this. That's gonna be one of the last suspension parts I do. And if I don't feel like modifying that, I might buy that, but I don't know. I'm not. Depends on how ambitious I get when we get to that part. We'll see. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Anyways, guys, I think I'm gonna call that a day. I wanna relax and drink beer and eat some food. But you know, I'm happy with what I got done. It wasn't hard. It's just a little time consuming, a little bit of thought process, having all the tools that you need. Real simple. So if you guys don't want to spend that $90 or $150 or $250 on a performance part, and you're okay with getting your hands dirty, you're always gonna get your hands dirty. But you know, it's cool to say, hey, I made that part. That's a performance part was handmade. I mean, that's a custom made part. I mean, you can't really seriously. I basically did it for under $50 in my time. You know, depends on how you want to judge your time. Maybe that is actually a $250 part now because I built that. I could probably get away with selling it for around $200 if I really wanted to if I made it nicer. But yeah, good coffee, around $50. So yeah, so rate, comment, subscribe. Granddaddy Garage. Check you guys later.